on a shoot. And I signed up for it, and I had no idea that I was pregnant. And I was just like, how do I get these chips? Like, how will I ever get that? And then it went on to, so the second trimester went on to like bhindi and roti. And then the third trimester was the worst because it went on to like hamburgers. And yeah,
crazy.
So it was just
what
like
fun.
Today, because I was working towards a natural, and I was just like, today's got to be my last burger, because I can tell the baby's going to come out, and then another burger, and then I was just like, I couldn't tell like what was left in my stomach. There was like no space between the hair and the burgers. But
so you enjoyed thoroughly, huh? That's good.
Yes, but now of course it's different. Tell me, who was like your when you were pregnant, and clearly you knock on wood, you, of course, looking back, you had a very, very smooth pregnancy. But who was like, your go-to person? Because sometimes, you have so many questions and you don't want to look up Google, and you don't want to call your doctor, and you don't want to reach out to, too many people. Who was your one go-to person?
So I spoke a lot to my friend Ankita, who's Karan's wife, who also had a child year and a half ago. And also my other friend Ruchira, who's a mother to a 2-year-old, because they were recently experienced. I would call them up very often. And also Gayatri, I would irritate all the time. She's actually literally a call away. So I would keep calling my gynac also, okay, am I doing this right? Am I doing that, if I'm doing everything correctly. But other than that, my friends, and of course, my mom-in-law. I mean, it's just a phase where everybody wants to be there for you, and they just know so much more. So I would just pick the phone up and I would just ask whatever I felt and whatever I wanted.
And any sort of like nerve butterflies one day before delivery. Did you have a C-sec? Did you have a natural?
C-sec.
Did any nerves? Then you knew the dates. Any nerves before?
Definitely. But it was just so much more exciting. I was looking forward to it. I was obviously nervous. Rohit was nervous. It was crazy. It was crazy. Nerves, definitely. But yeah, C-sec was smooth. Actually, Arav's position was such, and he had the umbilical cord loops around his neck. So it was a little, head. So that's why I had to opt for a C-sec. But it's pretty easy. C-sec makes it all easier, I guess. That's what people say.
Yeah, we guess. Who knows, right? But then, that's what they say. It makes it easier. But then, post-op, it's harder because the recovery takes much longer. Now, I mean, so there you go. Beautiful boy, all of that. What was it like? The world prepares you for everything. You have advice for everything. I've personally, out of my personal experience, and that's why we have Freedom to Feed, is because we're a community that, is built on, conversations around parenting. Most importantly, conversations around the fact that we're not going to judge any mom. So if a mom decides to breastfeed, it's her choice. If a mom decides not to breastfeed, it's her choice. If you want to use a pump and then, express milk for your child, that's also great. Or if you want to stick to formula, that's why it's called Freedom to Feed, But and I just felt that everybody prepares you for everything. Nobody prepares you for, somebody coming forward and then just like going for it. And then, you have this beautiful being, but always crying. And then you feel like, you have so much power on one side.
Oh, you totally feel so powerful.
You're supplying everything, life to this being. But at the same time, it also leaves you very weak, because you're just so like, you're
overwhelmed. There's so much going on.
What was your initial breastfeeding journey like, or what was your breastfeeding journey like?
So see, me actually throughout my pregnancy and with all the advice and everything that I was getting, I always believed in I'm going to go with the flow. I don't want to stress, I'll stay calm. And when I had Arav, the initial days after C-sec, you don't instantly lactate. So first couple of days they gave formula. Like usually mothers panic a lot. Oh my God, am I going to lactate? Is it going to go smooth?
No, it takes like 2 to 3 days for it to actually start.
Yeah. So I also did panic a little, but I was like, it's okay. I'll go with the flow. Today's day and age, you don't really have to worry. Everything, whatever and how much ever you can do for your child is perfect. You're always trying to do your best, and that's what matters. So yeah, I was like, I'll go with the flow. And then of course, after 4-5 days, I did lactate, and I breastfed for about 4.5 months with a combination of little bit of formula. And then now I pump because I want to, get back into shape also. I want to get back a little bit to work. And I just feel more comfortable with the idea of pumping a little bit of formula. And I've started his semi-solids, his dal ka pani, chawal ka pani.
We saw that. Yeah, we saw
so
that.
I'm doing a combination of everything right now.
How as moms we love the fact that the first meal has happened, but I can't even imagine how tasteless it is initially for them. I feel so bad. Like I'm just like, I can't be feeding my child that mashed kaddu and I'm just like sitting over here and eating like Bombay sandwich. It is what it is. We've all been through it.
Child.
Yeah. No, I wanted to know from. Sorry. Go ahead.
No. Yeah. Go on.
No, so that's one thing, and then you are one of those moms or one of those many moms or few moms, whatever the ratio is, I don't know, who had their children in the midst of COVID. Now what's it like to being, were you pregnant when
yes,
so there you go, so you were pregnant.
Yeah.
And you also had
and then when I delivered, I was like, by the time I'll deliver, it'll all go away, it'll all vanish, it'll be 9 months and there will be no COVID. But then the phase 2 happened. So even post-delivery, it was major panic. But yeah, I had to live with it now. My whole thing was, now God planned it like this at a time like this. It's all about staying positive, taking as much care as you can as a parent, as a mother of yourself, of your child, and just go with the flow. Like in fact, also one of the main reasons why I opted for formula after 4.5 months, because I went to my friend's place and I did that kit test. And in that test, I tested positive. And at that time, I was like full-blown breastfeeding. I really, really panicked.
And so then what was your mental state like? That must have been
crazy. You won't believe it. I was like, oh my God, should I touch Arav? Should I not touch Arav? I called up my pediatrician. He's like, chill, you can breastfeed. But somewhere in my heart, I was like, if I'm positive and if at all, because of me, he suffers. So for those 2 days, I was like, I'm not going to breastfeed until my reports came. And then thankfully, I was actually negative. That was like a false positive. But the panic through that was crazy. And that's when actually I started giving him more of formula, because I was like, in case, I have COVID, and if I'm like, with COVID, nobody knew what's happening, what's going on. So I was like,
yes,
he should also be used to a little bit of formula. And that's when I increased his intake of the top feed.
No, also I feel like we're sort of the first generation of pregnant moms who've delivered in the midst of a pandemic. So you don't know what's happening. Not tried, not tested. Have you taken the vaccine as yet, or?
I have. I've taken both the doses. I took my first dose, in fact, while I was breastfeeding, and my pediatrician said that it's absolutely safe. In fact, he also said, because you're breastfeeding, he will get a few antibodies. So I was like, I had to do it. And I think that's the best thing you can do for yourself, for the situation, for the country, and for your child.
Absolutely. I feel like that's such great advice. And, coming from you, because the questions are all there, and us as a community also, we keep getting questions about whether you should take the vaccine when you're pregnant. We did support this wonderful initiative that was started, or the petition that was started by Priyali Sur on change.org, where she did mention where her petition was that pregnant women should be given the option of whether they should allow the vaccine or not, and that came through. So we just want to tell everybody that that option is there, whether you want to take it or not. And now you've heard it from Anita as well, that she took the vaccine in the midst of her breastfeeding journey. So I mean, all of this is something that life doesn't prepare you for when you become a mom. The one thing that life doesn't prepare you for apart from this is the sleep deprivation. Did that bother you at all?
A little bit, but like I said, when you're prepared, you're just so excited. And when I was pregnant, I was really oversleeping, and I was mentally, after the baby, I'll have to little bit adjust on that. So I was okay. Matlab, I didn't have a very tough time because I was prepared, and I was honestly trying to enjoy all of this also, because like none of this is going to come back. I mean, I look at Arav, he's 6 months, he's going to be 6 months tomorrow, and I'm like, oh my God,
Okay, happy half year birthday to Arav in advance. But I mean, like this is my last question on breastfeeding. You haven't stepped out much because of COVID. Now, if you were to step out under normal circumstances, after a month, 40 days is when they say the mom can start stepping out. You think that, and obviously you would have breastfed Arav even outside. You think that there's a need to normalize it because, there are enough and more people who still sexualize the concept of breastfeeding and don't understand it. Do you think that there's still a need to normalize breastfeeding in our country?
100%. Although I feel in cities it's a little better. I haven't experienced it really. I haven't gone out on the roads
Yes.
Because of COVID. We haven't done that. But I'm hoping, and I feel that in cities it would probably be a little better. But I would definitely urge and tell people to normalize it. And I mean, every woman goes through it, and it's just such a beautiful thing. I mean, to look at it in any other way is a shame. So it absolutely must be normalized.
That's so well said. To look at it in any other way is a shame, and I feel like that's what normalizing breastfeeding is all about. Now, coming to Rohit, our dearest Rohit, our papa, your love husband. Now, there's also chatter around, and nowadays there's lots of chatter that happens around, equal parenting and all of that. Like with Angad and me, it's almost like we fill in for whatever the other person can't do. So, at this point, if I'm just like, I can't lift her up, so he's just like, he does all the heavy lifting and whatever. Now, what's it like when Rohit is home, if and when, because he works 30 hours out of 24. Yes. But what's it like between the two of you? What are the dynamics? Do you have assigned duties? Do you have whoever does whatever duties? Like, what's it like?
Like whatever. It's like we're pretty casual. I mean, for us, we're like really close friends, most importantly. So if I'm lying down and if I just don't want to do something, I'll just tell him and he'll happily do it. It's not that, you have to do this and I have to do this. When he's on a holiday, he enjoys doing it. In fact, I still don't know how to swaddle Arav. It was Rohit who learned it online, and he came when Arav was when we had Arav, he was like, listen, I have learned this and I'm so excited, and he
that's
was
so amazing.
babies. So that's one thing he learned. He surprised me with, and he still knows how to swaddle a child, which is amazing. And he's great. We totally believe in equal parenting. There is no such rule that only I have to do something or, he won't do something. He is happy to change diapers. He's happy to wake up in the middle of the night. In fact, first couple of days, because I was in pain, Arav was sleeping on his side. And every time Arav would wake up, he would, carry him and pass Arav to me. So he's like totally been a great support and a great father. And yeah, equal parenting.
That's just so great. And my next question was going to be that is there anything that he did which took you by surprise and you were like, he's really good at, which you did answer already, which was the swaddling. Now, Now, you also mentioned about how you've gotten back into fitness. We've seen your videos online. What's it like now, 6 months into having a baby? How are you managing time out, to work out? And eventually, as individuals, not just as moms, we need time for ourselves. So how are you coping with that?
So right now, from the 5th month, 5 months, 10 days onwards, I started pumping. So I go for my walks, I pump. My nanny feeds Arav. If my mom is there, she feeds Arav, and he's also very comfortable. Like if I'm not there, not present for one feed or the other, so somebody does it. So pumping is really helping me, and I go for my regular walks because it's a C-section. I'm taking it easy.
Yes.
But post 7-8 months, I plan on like going on a proper diet and getting back to the gym and working out and jogging and running and all of that, because we're actors and fitness is a key thing for all of us. And my husband is a fitness freak, so I definitely want to get back into shape as soon as I can.
No, I have to say you look beautiful, Anita. So you've got nothing to worry about and you've got enough more time. One thing I want to ask you, we saw you getting back to work. Now, how do you balance that? As much as, even if it's work from home, a lot of people don't understand this, but I'm just switching to the community questions, and the community also had the fitness question for you, and they had the same question, which is how are you managing time? Because even if you say somebody says ki 2 ghante ka shoot hai, you're gonna get ready. I know the drill, like you do the hair and makeup, and so how do you manage your work-life balance?
I mean, I love what I do. I just love acting. We're actors. And, when I get these assignments where they say they're going to work from home, they're all tested. I make sure that whoever enters my house is tested with the RT-PCR negative report. And also, like, if I'm shooting with Arav, because a lot of my brands right now are all mommy related that I'm associated to. So I make sure that everything goes in the flow with Arav. Like, I don't have to disturb his schedule. So when he's sleeping, you take my shots. When he's happy, you take his shots. If you want to, you have to adjust to that, because for us, it's our babies, and we want to take the best care that we can. So I make sure that whatever schedule I make is around Arav, not more so around me, not around them. It's all about how Arav is feeling, and we shoot.
Yeah, I mean, that's so true. Even before they're out, they have us spinning around their fingers. Now, there again, lots of community questions coming in. I'm reading from my other phone.
Sure,
so then,
sure.
People are asking about the work-life balance. Did you supplement with formula? You have answered that. Somebody wants to know, was it difficult to become a mom at the age of 40? You addressed that as well. Yeah, this is interesting. How do you increase your milk? Like, was there any specific food that you thought that, okay, today I've eaten this, so now instead of 3 ounces, I'm pumping 9.
A lot of jeera and methi seeds.
Oh, really? I thought that was like to avoid colic for the baby and not increase milk supply.
No, it's very good for lactation. Methi seeds, jeera. Then I used to initially I used to have Satavrex. That's like a proper supplement for lactation. Then also I switched to Mother's Horlicks. So yeah, like I read about it and whatever best I can do. Like I told you, because of being 40, also my milk supply wasn't that great. So I did do all of these things. I had methi ka laddus, I had goon ka laddus. So the works. I mean, I tried.
But at the same time, somebody else is also asking a question that you're okay giving formula to your baby and there's nothing wrong with it, right?
Absolutely. Like there are so many women who don't lactate at all and their babies are absolutely fine. And just by the way, I'm a formula baby, as in my mom had an issue. She wasn't lactating at all, because I keep telling her how. Now that, I'm going through the phase, I ask her and she's like, I didn't feed you at all because of the issue, and I've turned out perfectly sane. I feel so. So it's
I mean, those questions we'll ask Rohit on a different line.
So yeah, I think it's perfectly fine to do what you feel right. Every mother is perfect in their absolute own way, and whatever a mother decides for their child is the right thing, right decision, the best decision.
I think that's fantastic, Anita. We're not going to keep you here for very long. We promised you that we're going to let you go in half an hour. I know how important it is for you to get back to your baby. Just 2 questions before we let you go. Firstly, and most importantly, while you were pregnant, like, what was the best advice that still rings in your head that you got? Like, you're like, oh, really? And then it stayed with you.
I think to go with the flow and not panic too much is what somebody told me, and I actually followed that, and it worked, because there are a lot of people telling me, "Arey ye mat karna, arey C-section mat karna, arey sirf breastfeed karna, arey don't go here." Like, people just have so much advice to give, but at the end of it, your heart just knows. Like a mother, I think when you're pregnant, there's this intuition, there's this feeling you get from inside where you know what you actually want to do, So for me, when my friends said go with the flow, I just followed that, and I thought that was one of the best things or best advice that I've gotten, because that really, really helped me.
Yeah, and that's one thing. But I also want to know that now that you're a new mom, and you're a mother to a 6-month-old beautiful baby boy. Now, if you were to give anyone advice, you were to give me advice or give anyone advice, what would that? I mean, I'm sorry to interrupt, but the best part about being pregnant the second time around, Nobody gives you advice because they're like, oh, isko to pata hai.
But you know
It says, isko sab pata hai. I just want to tell everyone, mujhe sab nahi pata hai. You don't know, you forget. Now you're just like talking about swaddling, and I'm just like, which way is, I'm literally, I have to go back and rehearse. This is how I'm going to fix my pump. This is how I'm going to sterilize. This is what else I need to do. The swaddle. I know the swaddle. I know how it's done. But because you've told me about Rohit, so I've got this one little thing in my head. I better rehearse it quickly before the baby is out. But what's like the 2 or 3 or one single like best pieces of advice that you can give our community, our new parents, all of that?
Just one is that be happy while you're pregnant. Be happy after having the child, because your baby is sensitive, they pick it up. Like in these 6 months, whenever I've been in a little off mood, I mean, I look into his eyes and I just know that he knows. So the happier you are, the happier your child will be. I mean, a happy mother, happy baby, a happy mother. So just be happy, enjoy the phase. It's not going to come back. I know it's easier said than done, but it is just so beautiful. It's just best that you enjoy it. Neend ka kya hai? Sleep deprivation kya hai? You can recover it, I mean, you can sleep as much as you want 1 year down the line. Later, once, you stop breastfeeding or whatever, and the baby has a proper schedule. So yeah, just enjoy it because these times won't come back. And be happy because babies really pick that up. They just know when you're upset. They just know when you're sad.
That's just such great advice, I mean, I feel like it's all coming back to me now again. Now because Mare is, a little over 2.5, and now, I mean, I'm almost talking to her in signals where I'm just like,
so cute.
So, she has all this, so she knows that, when she's crossing 2 now, the line. Yeah? She's going to be 3.
Oh, 3.
In November. So she's over 2.5.
This is the perfect. Oh, lovely.
Yeah,
perfect age
very
gap
chatty.
for 2 kids. So cute.
Yeah, very, very chatty, deciding what the room decor is going to be like. So, picking things that we don't know. We're stuck between uncertainty, right? Whether it's a girl or a boy.
But what do you want? You want a boy or a girl?
It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. Like you said, healthy, happy baby. That's all that matters. And, I mean, it's just great. Like, it's not something that we planned, but having 2 babies, I was pretty sure from the beginning I wasn't one of those amazing one and done kind of moms. So I wanted to go on, and
I think that's the best decision. I want another one, and if I could, I would have 10 more. Like, seriously,
my sister, I feel the same way. I really do if I could, because there's so many other restrictions that we have and we put on ourselves that even I would have as many more. But, Anita, it's so nice to talk to you. You're so, how do I say this? You make motherhood sound, so stress-free, and it shows in your pictures, in whatever you upload, and it's the same person. I feel like it's not like, I'm talking to somebody who's putting something else out and, who means something else. Thank you so much for talking to us.